Hey, everybody. Welcome to the principal's office. I am Makisha Harris. I am the principal. Well, you can understand the principal educational consultant for O Educational Solutions, where we believe every child is a genius and we want to make sure that we help and empower them to make education relevant to who they are. Okay. Now, I am just going to read something. This is not my own work, but it will be my commentary because people don't like it anymore. But Education Week has a great, it was just a great article about the dissatisfaction with public schools and how that's hit a 24-year low. So Kevin Bushweller, shout out to him because this article, and you can go see it on edweek.org from February 5th. Okay. And it simply says Americans' opinions about the quality of public education in the United States continue to decline, according to Gallup poll released on February 5th. The percentage of adults who report feeling dissatisfied about public education has increased steadily from 62% to 73% between 2019 and 2025. Now, according to Gallup's annual public satisfaction survey, the percentage of adults who now feel satisfied with public education is the lowest since 2001, the report notes. Now, here's my commentary. 2001? Come on. Since 2001, was I in high school? I think I was still in high school. And I had a great academic experience. But just to think, the 24 years and the dissatisfaction with public schools has, oh, come on, 62% to 73 is crazy to me. All right, back to the story, back to the article. Now, the report, which tracks America's satisfaction across 31 aspects of U.S. society or policy, such as the military, healthcare, and crime, go figure, found that public education ranked 29th among 31 areas. 29th amongst 31 areas? That's crazy talk. Okay. Now, Americans' persistent low satisfaction with national conditions may be hard for the nation's leaders to address. However, the rank order of concerns resulting from this poll offers that President Trump and officials at all levels of government guidance on where the public might appreciate them focusing their efforts, the report says. Now, the Gallup poll comes less than a week after news that U.S. students' reading scores have plunged further on the test known as the nation's report card. Now, for both fourth and eighth grade, scores on the 2024 National Assessment of Educational Progress have shown a steady decline in that subject that started before school building closures during the pandemic. That continuing slide was the case despite a big infusion of federal aid, a big infusion of money, okay, a federal aid to schools during the Biden administration to stand up tutoring and other programs to help students catch up academically. Yikes. Now, precisely what is driving the findings is unclear. I bet you we can all we probably can guess what the true driving factors are, right? Now, back to the article. It could be related to the falling test scores, parents' lingering dissatisfaction with months of remote and hybrid schooling that led to learning loss, or the negative discourse about race and gender and changes of indoctrination that have been leveled at teachers since 2020. The poll didn't plumb why American adults held their views, but Lydia Sade, director of U.S. social research for Gallup, said the pandemic and related moves to remote and hybrid learning did set the ball rolling for this heightened dissatisfaction. It's worth noting that when Gallup has asked parents in other surveys about their own local public schools, their satisfaction historically has been much higher than the Americans' view of public education more generally. Sayed said that it is likely because parents' view of their own schools are based on direct experience with those schools, whereas America's views of public more generally are based largely on what they see in the media. Now, listen to this. The poll was based on telephone interviews conducted between January 2nd through the 15th of this year with a random sample of 1,005 adults aging 18 or older living in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Other findings from the poll saw that majorities of Americans are generally satisfied with the nation's military strength, the overall quality of life, the position of women, the opportunity for people to get ahead, and the acceptance of gay and lesbian people in the country. Americans are closely split on three other issues, which about as many dissatisfied as satisfied: the influence of organized religion, the nation's security from terrorism, and the position of people who are from historically underserved communities. In addition to public education, more Americans are dissatisfied than satisfied with all other aspects measured, spanning policies on healthcare, foreign affairs, immigration, the environment, guns, race relations, energy, crime, taxes, abortion, and the economy, among other issues. The nation's efforts to deal with poverty and homelessness garners the lowest satisfaction ranking from Americans. Lastly, more Americans are satisfied with the quality of medical care in the United States more than with the availability of affordable health care. Interesting. They're also more satisfied with the effect technology is having on society than with the size and influence of major corporations. Now, this was a really good read. It was a really good read because it highlighted so many different things, and it speaks to the murmurs, if you will, the complaints of just America's views on public education, and especially when the article noted how Americans feel, especially adults feel, with their local schools, because that's what you have most. You have more interactions with your local schools. You have your kids go to neighborhood schools, and if they don't go to neighborhood schools, they go to schools that are in your area. But you come across those local schools more than you do just thinking about America as a whole and America generally. And that's what it was saying, that adults are. I'm gonna go back to it so you don't think I'm making things up. But that's what it was talking about. Parents' views on their own school are based on their direct experience versus Americans, excuse me, who see public education as a whole when you watch the news. Or, when you read things on social media, it gives you a generalization, or for some people, an overgeneralization. But it's not until we get down to the nitty gritty and start speaking to parents who are in these different pockets and in these different communities, and who are a part of, have different cultural experiences. That's when we get to know what the real problem is and how we can affect change. And I think, and I truly, truly believe that while a bunch of money was pumped through the different states, the federal aid that was given to different states for tutoring and to kind of help kids get back on board to avoid this decline that we've been having, that may have worked for some. It may have worked for many, but it's not enough. Clearly, we have to do something that's a little more customized, something that is a little more personal, just versus saying, hey, this is an item sheet. We're sending out this amount of dollars for tutoring. And it's very, it's just very general. Okay. And I think that a lot of people just in our communities and in our different spheres of influence, if we were to take a little more autonomy over our children's education, over our expectations for their learning, and just be vocal, be advocates for our youth, because many, as adults, we make decisions for them. As adults, we plan around children, we plan for children, but rarely do we ask children what they need. Very rarely do we build rapport with them and get to know them on a personal level, so much so that we know how they learn, we know their proclivities, we know their different in how they're wired, their triggers. What makes them happy? What makes them sad? What do they like learning about? What comes naturally to them? What is their purpose in life? I think we need to spend a lot more time in that area. And if we do that, pay more attention to the person, pay more attention to the child. I guarantee, I can put a guarantee by it. When you have the right people in place with the right motives, asking the right questions to get the right answers, I'm pretty sure that once we know more about the child, then we're able to take the education, yes, the robust amount of information that we have in these wonderful curriculums that we are offered, and we're able to make education more relevant to the child. But if we are just doing it backwards, where we have all of this curriculum and all of this content and text, and we're just making the child fit the content, that's where we're missing the mark. Because these children, it's an information age. These children want to know why, and they want you to have an answer, because they can go on Chat GPT and get one themselves. But they rather, when they're rather sitting in classes with adults who have a little more experience than they do, it's more personal. And we have to be available. We have to be ready as adults to answer these questions and also show them the way. I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Well, in order for that to happen, we have to do our job and undergird them and support them and get to know them and stop talking down to them and talking around them and start talking to them, asking them questions. Okay. So that's my spiel for today. I hope that it enlightened you in some kind of way, because here at the principal's office, that's what we strive to do. So until next time, you have a great day. And please leave me comments in the chat, send me messages, because I love the dialogue. I love to talk and just to explore these different ways for us to encourage and equip our children to be leaders. All right. Bye.